Membership means more with American Express Business Gold. Earn 4 times membership rewards points in your top 2 eligible spending categories every month, including eligible U.S. advertising purchases and select media, and U.S. purchases at restaurants, including takeout and delivery. What are you waiting for? Get the card that flexes with your spending every month. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card. Built for business by American Express.
Good sleep is everything. That's why Ollie's Science Back Support is made with a blend of melatonin and L-theanine for both kiddos and grown-ups. So when your mind won't switch off, you've got something that can help. Your racing thoughts and restless nights won't stand a chance. Find Ollie Sleep Solutions for the whole family at ollie.com. That's OLLY.com.
Is your daughter a good player?
Yes.
You have to say that. Is your daughter a good player?
She is a good player.
She's a starter? She's a starter?
This is the plaintiff, Scott Lynette. He says he's the administrator for a girls' soccer team that the defendant's daughter played on last year. She has since quit the team, but they still owe him money from last season's events. He's suing them for $137.63, the amount he's most definitely owed. These are the defendants, Beth and James. Beth says she informed the plaintiff she wouldn't be wasting money on a warm-up suit because having one wasn't going to help the team win any games. Because of this, the plaintiff started singling out her daughter during practices and made her feel uncomfortable. It became unbearable for her daughter, so she quit the team after playing on it for 7 years. The plaintiff is an evil, evil man. They owe him nothing and are sure the judge will agree. They're accused of not warming up to a coach.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Milian, not presiding. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay. Scott Lynette?
Yes.
You are suing Beth and James. You've asked us not to use your last name, and we respect that, for $137.63 that you say they owe for their daughter being on a travel soccer team.
Correct.
Okay, tell me what's going on.
I am the team administrator for the soccer team.
Okay. What age group?
These are 11 and 12-year-old girls.
Okay.
In June, their daughter registered to be part of the team.
Okay.
And as part of the activities that we do towards the end of the summer to get rid of the fall season, we ran what we call a mini camp.
Okay.
From 5 to 7 at night for 5 straight days. We have a paid trainer who trains the team during the season 2 days a week and coaches the games.
Okay, but what, okay.
And he ran the mini camp.
The mini camp, which was a 5-day camp.
Which was a 5-day camp.
And did they pay for the 5-day camp?
No, they have not.
Okay, and the cost for the 5-day camp was what?
$60 a player.
Okay,
So I lay
how
out
many
the
months'
money.
expenses are these that you're suing for?
It's just the last week of August. It was for the mini camp, which was $60. It was for a Labor Day weekend tournament, which was $35 a player to participate, and then the cost of our trainer to be there to coach the girls at the tournament.
Okay, I'm not paying him because my daughter, before this started, before that mini camp, Scott had suggested to the parents that we get an $86 warm-up suit, that everyone on the team, because they had new players from another team, that everyone looked like a team. He sent out an email, and let's buy an $86 warm-up suit for everyone. Let's not worry about winning the game or having the team learn how to play good. Let's worry about looking good on the bench for the 2 seconds before
I'm sure his email didn't say what you're saying, but I guess what you're saying is, I don't want another expense that's unnecessary and doesn't have to do with winning.
I have no problem. I've always paid the dues. I've paid whatever Scott's expenses were. The reason why I have a problem with these expenses...
How long has your daughter been on the team?
Since kindergarten, and she is now
With
in
Scott?
7th grade. No.
Okay.
Scott for a few years. Before that, there was other coaches. You know, coaches change every couple of years.
Is your daughter a good player?
Yes.
You have
and
to
she
say
was,
that. Is
she
your
was-
daughter a good
well,
player?
She is a good player.
She is a good
is.
player.
We
She's a
didn't want her to
starter?
quit.
She's
Yeah.
a starter?
What? She was a goaltender. She was
a goaltender.
yeah,
Okay.
she's very good.
Okay, so go on.
So, yep, she was a very good player. She loved soccer. But then Scott sent out the email and made the suggestion that we get Adidas warm-up suits for $86. I said I wasn't interested. Then when my daughter started practicing before the fall season started, like he said, the mini camp, he sent out an email. I have samples. I'd like the girls to try them on. I came to pick my daughter up from practice. I'm in the car. I text her, okay, I'm here. Nope, Scott's making me try it on. I said, I told Scott no. He doesn't want me to go. He said, wait, on more than one occasion. And I said, I wrote back to Scott, I am not buying the warm-up suit. And he said, it is not for you to say, I am not. We are a team, so everyone has to buy
Wait,
it.
all this is by text?
By email, which I yes.
Why don't you guys talk to each other?
I don't know. Scott,
What are you, my children?
Scott likes to email. Yes, I have no problem speaking. Scott likes to email. I like speaking.
No, I mean, you know, it's nice to have stuff in writing. It's just that
Okay,
this is
so-
such a delicate little
Right.
thing. This
So
is your
the-
daughter's coach, and
So the bottom line was, I had no problem with paying for the mini camp. I had no problem with paying the $35 Labor Day tournament fee, or the $24 for Jack the trainer, his fee for the Labor Day tournament that we lost, because we're so focused on the warm-up suit, but okay. But I said, after he made my daughter feel uncomfortable, and...
how did he make her feel uncomfortable?
He kept asking her, said she had to stay and try it on, and then the straw that broke the camel's back was when she went to play the first game. He said that there would be a brief parent meeting after the game, and after I had an appointment, I had to bring my daughter somewhere, and I had to leave, and Scott wanted me to wait and talk longer with him and Jack the trainer to be bullied into buying the warm-up suit, and I said, I have an appointment, I have to leave. He followed us out to the parking lot as me and my daughter went to the car, threw his bag on the parking lot ground, stomped his feet as we got in the car, then he called me on my cell phone, which goes through, it's hands-free, through the speaker in my car, and proceeded to insult me with my daughter right in the back seat behind me. After that, she goes, I do not want to play with him. Scott is
How did he
acting
make
like
her
a
feel
child.
uncomfortable besides yelling at you in her ear range, though? You were starting to say something about something he did.
He made her feel uncomfortable because he
really wanted her to buy a sweatsuit?
Right, and because
What about
he
in
said,
the game? Did he do anything in the game?
He said that she would be like an outcast, and that I would be an outcast for not getting it, and I was being ridiculous, and she was very upset when he was speaking on the phone, and when she was at the practices, I said,
Did your daughter ever say to you, Mom, just buy the sweatsuit?
No, she not at all.
Does she have other problems with the team already, like she didn't want to play with them anymore?
No. She had the only thing that she had asked is if instead of being the goalie full time, if she could split it because in the previous season he had split her between goalie and field time, and his daughter also played goalie, so they would go half and half. And so after this first game, we went and asked. Well, first she was very upset that they lost. They got slaughtered. And we went up to Scott and said, it was quite upsetting. She would like to also play field too. And he said, happens. That's it. She'll have to get over it with her standing next to me. And she was upset about that. And then when we went to ask Jack, the trainer, who was there ready to start the parent meeting, can she also do field, like she did? He said, nope. That's it. She has to be full-time goalie. That's it. There is no choice for her to do half and half anymore. I said, but she did in the past. Well, the other
yeah, but you don't
seasons-
get to call the shots on these things. You know how that works.
Judge, can I have my...
I assume you're dad.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
dad. What also took place is we can't bring her to every game. We asked him if he'd be able to. He said, yeah, it wouldn't be a problem.
Before all this.
Before all this. Now, when we decided we didn't want to buy the warm-up suit, I can't bring your daughter to the games anymore. And if she doesn't get to the game, she's going to be penalized.
Judge.
Yeah.
First, I want to say something. You know, there are 15 girls on the team, and there are then 30 other parents. Does she ever reach out to any one of them? Is she actually friends with any of them? It's always.
Are you talking about the child or her?
No, her. The burden has always been put on me, and it's been in a threatening way. If you can't take her, she's not playing, and it's always been that way.
A ride?
I've gone out of my way. Last winter, we played in a winter league where the indoor facility was closer to my house than her house. I'd go out of my way, probably for half the games, to pick her daughter up and drive her there and bring her back. Never once. Oh, let me give you gas money. I've gone out of my way so many times to bring her daughter to games, and it goes unappreciated.
Because she kind of feels that her daughter's indispensable to your team.
Like I'm the crutch for her daughter. I mean, I've seen Dad at a game in the 3 years I've been with the team, maybe 3 times. It's like if Beth is not able to do it, the burden's put on me. I asked I could have had all my parents come down tonight. I didn't want to make a scene out of this, but I've asked them. She never picks up the phone to call them. Parents get the full roster of all the other parents. It's always been put on me.
But why do you take it? Put your hand down. Why do you do it?
I've been trying to be the nice person, and the reason I stopped.
Because she's good.
Is because
stop.
And the reason.
Stop. You and I both know why you do it. Because she's good. Because if she was not good, you wouldn't be going out of your way to pick her up.
No, because is she good? Yes, she's good.
Right.
My daughter plays goalie.
Why does she feel like she can dump on you? Because she's good. Because if she was not good, she wouldn't have that kind of temerity to ask the coach to go out of his way to pick her daughter up. She would figure it out with another parent. I know exactly what's going on.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Who's more unreasonable in girls' sports, teachers or parents? What do you think?
Parents.
Why do you say?
I just think that parents all think that their kids are the best.
Who's into girls' sports here? Who's into girls' sports? Okay, what do you think? What do you think?
Oh, me.
You. Not a trick question.
I think that the parents are more unreasonable because they want what's best for their kids and they push them sometimes to...
And maybe what they want is not necessarily best for the kids.
True. My sister plays college volleyball and my mom's a little crazy about it. Anything.
An expert going inside the courtroom.
Clearly, this is a parents who feel that they have a daughter who is indispensable for the team. If they're asking the administrator to make rides, and if they're like sitting there saying, "No, we're not going to do it," because most parents would sit there and say, in a travel team, "Oh well, good, go along to get along," and they would just go ahead and spend the money on a stupid suit. And I say stupid because they're right. It doesn't have anything to do with how they play. It's not about the $86. It's the power play that happens in these situations all the darn time. Now, step one, whether I agree with how he phrased it to you or agree with how it is that this is irrelevant. I have a lawsuit in front of me on his part for stuff that you admit that you were supposed to pay for. You made a decision based on him no longer giving your daughter rides and the rudeness of it and the pettiness and whatever else that you felt that your daughter was no longer comfortable, or based on the fact that your daughter wanted score time and not goalie time.
Excuse me.
No, there's no excuse me. We're done. I'm ruling. No.
I didn't agree.
No, because let me tell you what I am not. I am not the coach who depends on your daughter's great playing skills.
Right.
I'm actually the judge in this courtroom where I don't really care who stays in or stays out. So if you don't want to hear what my call is, you can walk out. But my call's going to happen now. I don't need you to be part of my team. No, that means that you don't talk anymore. You keep going. That's not going to happen. As for all of these expenses that were incurred, I'm not going to listen to some tortured logic about, well, I shouldn't have to pay it now because when all of this stuff happened, I thought my daughter could be part of the team, but I obviously had to pull her out because of the way that he was talking. No, I'm not listening to all that. You pull your daughter out, you pull your daughter out. If it had been my daughter would kill me if I pulled her out over this stuff. If she already had a team and the only way my daughter wouldn't kill me is if my daughter didn't want to play anyway. Okay? I find in favor of the plaintiff in this case in the amount of the $137.63. That's my verdict.
All right, both sides, just hold on right there.
Well, the plaintiff does get the money that he sued for here, and here's the parents of the soccer player. What's your reaction to the outcome here after this case is all said and done?
I'm very upset because we felt that she was forced off the team, and I did not feel that he should have gotten the whole judgment.
You recognize the role of the grown-ups in this as the people interfering in what's supposed to be fun for a kid?
Well,
And kind of ruining it for the kid?
I always say the parents ruin it for the kids.
And that's what happened here?
They always do.
That's what you guys did?
It's everybody. Not just us, everybody.
Okay.
She's in another league now, and she's having a good time.
All right, right around the corner this way, okay? All right, come on in here. Here's the other half of the equation. You win your case.
Yes.
You satisfied about that?
Yeah, I just wanted to get paid back for the expenses that I laid out. I'm a volunteer. I volunteer my time to set up things for the team and for the girls, and I just wanted to get paid back for my expenses when she quit the team. And, you know, $86 is not that expensive.
Harvey?
Hey, this is real simple. You cannot start arguing that something is unreasonable when you signed a contract agreeing to it. It's really common sense. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on their way into the courtroom right now.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
All new drinks are now at McDonald's. With refreshers like the Strawberry Watermelon Refresher and the Mango Pineapple Refresher with popping boba. To crafted sodas like the Sprite Berry Blast with berry flavors and cold foam. Who knew ice cold drinks could be so fire? Try them all now at McDonald's.
Refreshers contain caffeine. Copyright 2026, The Coca-Cola Company. Sprite is a registered trademark of The Coca-Cola Company.
This is the plaintiff, Eric Manel Arthur. He says he hired the defendant to replace two parts on his car that he purchased on his own. And when they weren't working properly, he took his car to the dealership. They replaced the very parts the defendant installed and returned them to him. He was appalled and shocked to discover he'd been ripped off because the parts that were returned to him were different than the factory parts he purchased. The defendant stole from him, caused him to have even more work done to his car, and he's suing the crook for the $635.39 he's now out. This is the defendant, LaRoche Voyard. He says he replaced some parts the plaintiff gave him, and 2 weeks later, the guy came back asking for the boxes. He doesn't keep boxes once the work's completed. Can you imagine the storage you'd need if you had to keep every part box? As far as him not putting the proper parts in the car, hogwash. Even the cops who were called to the scene said this was a bunch of nonsense. He's accused of pulling the old switcheroo.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Eric Manel Arthur, you are suing the defendant's company. You're the owner, LaRoche Voyard. You've asked us not to mention the company name. We respect that, for $635.39 in hood damage, sensors, casket, screw brackets, and having to figure out somewhere else that, according to you, what he charged you for, he didn't do. Okay. How did you learn of the defendant?
Well, I was going out to another mechanic, and I kept having to bring my car to the other mechanic, and the problem still wasn't fixed. So he took it to a specialist, and they diagnosed the car as needing a catalytic converter and 2 oxygen sensors. Okay, so I went online, talked to a specialist there, ordered...
Specialist where?
On autoparts.com.
Okay, an online auto part place. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you talk to someone, and they let you know what parts.
So you ordered the parts.
Yeah, aftermarket parts for my Honda.
Okay.
And they sent me all the parts that were required. They were in boxes, and
what was it you ordered?
I ordered a catalytic converter, all the gaskets that were required to put the catalytic converter, the bolts, and 2 oxygen sensors made by Bosch.
Okay.
So I gave it to the...
How'd you find him?
I just happened to be riding by.
And riding by what?
By his place, actually. I just wanted someone different. you know, because I kept going back to the same.
That's a hell of a way to find someone different, but okay. So you go in there, it's fine. So you go in there and you tell him, here, I have these parts. Will you do this job? How much will you charge me? You guys come to terms. He does the job. You take the car, and there's a problem. What's the problem?
When I came back to pick up my car, he also put a car alarm and a radio in the.
And that's fine.
That's worked perfect.
Okay, so but you drive off, and what happens?
Well, when I got to there, he's mentioning to me that you have problems closing the hood, and I said no. He says, well, I had a hard time closing the hood, and then I said, what do you mean you had a hard time? I said, open it, because you don't want to drive off and get stuck. So he opens it, and he was right. You couldn't close the hood. He started looking down at the car, and then all of a sudden, he figured out what he needed to do to close the hood. He sticks his hand underneath here, underneath the car, and then slams the hood, and then it closes. Fine. So now, before I got there, I never had to do that. But that was another thing. I drove off with the car, you know, and a few hours later, I got the check engine light came back on. So I had texted him and said, you know, there was a cover missing in the car as well, and then I let him know that there was a cover missing and the check engine light was on.
What kind of cover?
It was a cover for the engine. The other mechanic had left off. I initially accused them, but
it turns out some other mechanic had it?
Some other mechanic had it, but I apologized to him.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. So go on.
So, you know, he told me to bring it in, you know, and then he claims, well, let me check the car, and, you know, if I find what's wrong with it, I'll order the parts and put it in and fix your car for you. But I said, you know what, I didn't want to deal with him. I just took it to Honda, paid $133 for them to diagnose the problem, and they found out that it needed a catalytic converter and 2 oxygen sensors.
But you just bought one.
I did. But they didn't want to use the ones that were aftermarket. They wanted to use Honda parts, which is, all right.
I think you just were so frustrated by this point.
Absolutely.
That,
totally.
You know, we have a saying in Spanish, lo barato sale caro, the cheap comes out expensive. That you just wanted to know that the next time you reach into your wallet is the last time, no matter what it costs.
That's what it was.
So what are you here for? You want him to return the money that you paid him, and you want him to pay you for the Honda diagnostic.
Right.
And you want, and according to you, you want him to repair your hood because you say he broke it?
Yeah, well.
But that wasn't even in your lawsuit until today, right?
Right, because I didn't.
So how come when you filed the lawsuit, you weren't accusing him of breaking the hood?
It was always there.
I know. That's my point. If it was always there, why wasn't it part of your original lawsuit?
I just didn't.
You're not just throwing in everything but the kitchen sink now, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Now, according to you, Honda tells you that one of the sensors that Honda returns to you, according to you, is not a Bosch.
Right.
It's a Densio.
I have the sensor here.
Okay. And that sensor is a sensor that comes with the Honda.
No.
No?
Bosch and Denso make aftermarket parts for Honda as well.
Okay.
So I gave him boxes that look like this. I went last night and purchased this.
Oh, okay. I presume you'll be able to return these?
Yes.
Okay.
And here's the other sensor. Now, if you open that up, it's going to
If I open it up, will you be able to return it?
Yeah, I'll be able.
Okay.
If you open it up, the part should say Bosch on it. If you read it.
Mm-hmm. And this?
That came out of my car.
And this is Denso. What this says is Denso.
So why
and this came out of your car according to whom?
From Honda.
Honda says this came out of your car.
These are the parts that they return.
Yeah, I know.
That they took out.
All right. Do you have anything from Honda besides what you handed me, which just charges you for this job?
What do you mean, like?
I mean, you want the money returned
Mm-hmm.
because you've now decided that you want to use Honda parts. You're the guy who supplied the parts. But you want the whole money returned because the light was still on, but you admit that you never brought it to him to give him a chance to fix it.
No, he they sold me everything I needed to put those things, the parts that I gave him in the car. He claims that that I didn't give him all the parts. They all came from...
No, wait, that's not what he claims.
Okay.
Let's hear what you claim.
Well, after we agreed to change those parts, he said that, he was just robbed the day before, that he needed some protection for his car. So we sold him, a security system, and his radio was also broken. So we sold him a radio. So the next day when he come and pick up his car, before I handled the car to the gentleman right here, I noticed that the hood wasn't closing properly. So I told him, listen, is something prior to you, from you bringing the car over here with your hood? He said, no, that the hood was never like that. So he started arguing, making a big deal about the situation. I said, okay, you know what? No problem. Bring the car inside. Let me take a look at it and see what's going on with the hood. When I go and I check the stuff and I look under the car, the stuff that was broken, it wasn't even broken. It was a screw that was missing, and it was rusted. I mean, it wasn't done right at that moment. It was something that was there from a long time ago. So I proceeded to go under the car, okay? I didn't have none of my workers there. I did it myself with him next to me, and I replaced the screw. Yeah. After I replaced the screw, the hood closed properly. And because he was talking a lot of stuff, so I said, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna charge you for it. It's on me. Then he came back like about 5 days later, okay, telling me that I did this, I did this, I did this.
Wait, no, what was he saying?
He's saying that I didn't change the sensor.
Right.
And that I also stole some stuff.
I see from his receipt
engine.
that what he ordered from the auto part place were 2 Bosches.
Exactly. And we also...
Right. So did you put in 2 Bosches? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
We put 2 Bosches in the car. But what I realized due to my investigation, because his story is never right. So I did my investigation, and I realized that this guy, he goes from shop to shop, okay, asks for an advice, buy the parts, and if something goes wrong, he blames it on the person, but it's not my fault.
How does your investigation, how do you investigate and find such a thing out?
When he came back like 3 weeks later, okay, he showed me a bill for $3,000 and something from Honda. And I asked him, why did you expend all that money? He said, oh, I needed my car to be right because my car wasn't passing inspection. I said, okay, very nice. He said to me, did I kept the boxes? I said, you did a job 3 weeks ago. Why would I keep the empty boxes? He said, oh, you shouldn't throw it on the garbage, blah, blah, blah. I said, I'm here to do the job, not to keep, boxes that are finished with the job. So he got mad.
Here's what I don't get. Why, how do I know that the people who pulled the switcheroo wasn't Honda?
Why would Honda do that?
Are auto repair shop guys generally dishonest, or is it a bad rap?
Bad rap.
Why do you say?
I just think they're misrepresented every now and then. People give them bad information, and then they try to fix their car up based on that.
What do you think? What do you think, sir?
Well, I think one bad one makes all the ones look bad, even though most of them aren't bad.
And what do you think?
I agree.
Not bad?
Not bad, no.
Oh, you guys are such optimists. I like that. Going inside the courtroom.
Why would Honda sell you something you don't need? Can I just tell you something? I love Hondas.
Okay.
I've owned Hondas all of my life. I am a van girl. I've got a big family. But I got to tell you, every time I pass by the Honda dealership, something major is wrong with my car.
All dealerships are like that.
Exactly.
I understand that.
Okay.
However, can I just...
Do you have anything from Honda saying that he did something wrong in the job that he did or something?
They didn't say that. They diagnosed the car, and they said that what it needed in its receipt. I mean,
here's the thing, though. For you to be able to claim, where do you get $200 for repair for the hood? Do you have how do you pick that figure?
Honda says it's about a 2-hour job.
Can I see the estimate from Honda?
Well, I don't have an estimate from.
Okay.
I don't have an estimate from Honda, but their labor is $99 an hour.
Okay, but I need proof of what it is you're saying and that it needs doing, and then proof that he did it. But you don't have that. So really, the question is, are you able to prove to me in a court of law that he pulled a switcheroo on the Bosch versus the
Denso.
Denso.
You just pulled that. That's a brand new thing out of the box there. A new sensor out of the box. Why would Bosch put
I don't know. It could be that Honda just like pulled it. Yeah, that's his, and they. Who knows? I don't know. How can I know that this is the one that they pulled out of your car? You don't even have that much Honda telling me. The only proof you bring me from Honda is them charging you soup to nuts for an expensive job. I'm sorry that you're in this position, okay? But nothing that you have said to me here today will cause me to force him to reimburse you any of the money that you paid him, much less all of the money that you're suing for the reasons that I've already explained. Verdict for the defendant.
Well, so the plaintiff comes out, it's just a case of simply being unable to come up with enough evidence to pin it on him or really anybody else.
Evidence?
Yeah, that's what courts are about.
Well, I mean, what am I going to do? I mean, if there's smoke, there's fire, so...
All right, is the car driving all right?
The car's driving great.
Okay.
My hood still needs to be fixed.
All right. All right, so step on in here. While he's talking, you just try and look like you're trying not to pay attention, or what?
Well, I did what I had to do, and he bought the parts. There was nothing else I could do. The guy does that. He goes from different shop one to another, and God is before me and knows that, I never done anything more than what he brought me to put on his car.
Okay. All right, Harvey.
Just a side note, when you have a really expensive part replaced, when they say it needs replacing, maybe a good idea to ask them to show you the part that was replaced just to make sure that it was really done. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Make every get-together chill. This Memorial Day, get up to an extra $1,000 off select top brand appliances like LG. Plus, get free delivery at the Home Depot. Tackle pool towels and camp laundry with a large capacity washer. And host in style with the fridge serving craft ice, mini craft ice, cubed ice, and crushed ice. Shop appliance savings now through June 3rd at the Home Depot. Offer valid May 14th through June 3rd, U.S. only. Free delivery on appliance purchases of $998 or more. See store online for details.
These are the plaintiffs, Michael and Angela Mason. Michael says he and his wife hired the defendant to conduct a home inspection on a house they ended up buying. The defendant failed to detect a major problem with the electrical panel, and it seems there'd been a fire of some sort because several of the connectors had been burnt. In fact, the burnt areas were covered with metal plates to hide the damage, and the defendant didn't detect this. Now they're out a whole heap of money due to his ineptness. They're suing for $2,200, the cost of a new electrical panel. This is the defendant, David Polo. He says he's been a home inspector for 27 years and knows a thing or two about detecting problems in a house. Thank you very much. He inspected a home for the plaintiff, and a year later they call him complaining about their electrical panel. He isn't allowed to dismantle an electrical panel because it's dangerous and he could get electrocuted. No inspector could have done anything more than he did. He takes his job seriously, and he's sorry, but he made no mistakes on the job and thinks the judge will agree. He's accused of shocking a customer.
All parties, please raise your right hands. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Michael Mason and Angela Mason?
Yes.
Yes.
You're suing David Polo and Polo and Associates Home Inspection. That's your company?
Yes.
Because he inspected your home before you bought it, and according to you, there are major electrical problems that he did not catch. Tell me what's going on.
That is correct. We bought the home in 2010. We had a storm in October of 2011, and we lost power. When we lost power, we decided to put a generator on the box, the panel. I had a contractor, electrical contractor, come out to install the generator panel. And when he opened the box, my electric panel, he opened the box up. He saw that there were several breakers that had been burnt inside the box. He asked me if I had a fire in the box, and I says, no, we had no problems with the box. And he says, well, the box might have been burnt. The burns might have been done before
Might have been done before?
Might have been done before,
But
yes.
might have been done after?
No,
The
he
closing?
says if it was done after, your whole garage would have been on fire. When you look at, I brought pictures, when
Yeah,
you
let's
look
see
at
the
the
pictures.
area that was burnt,
These are areas that you can see were burned if you did what? Because obviously you couldn't just look at it and see burned. You'd have to do what? Flip
Well-
off the plastics?
well, yes, well, when the electrician came, he pulled off a metal plate that was on top of this breaker.
So it's one particular breaker?
Yes,
And so your premise is that he has to pay you for the cost of an entire new electrical panel because he missed this.
yes.
What evidence do you have that this is something that was there when you closed on the house a year earlier?
The only evidence I have is from the electrician.
Yeah, let me see what you have from the electrician.
This is
Just the email from Steve.
And this is his email describing the whole breaker panel.
Okay, let me hear from you.
Yes.
Yes.
Your Honor, I've been in business a little while. And,
What's a little while,
Well, I've been in this industry my whole life, about 27 years.
right?
I've
And
been
how
a-
long have you been doing inspections?
Home inspections, 15.
Okay, so when you do the inspection, do you, first of all, have you seen the pictures or not? Let me
No,
show
I
it
know
to you.
nothing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't seen anything.
Your Honor,
Just a moment, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. That would be yours. Thanks. Okay, well, yeah, once again, this, I can tell you, this certainly wasn't present or visible the day of the inspection.
Okay, but that's my question, present or visible. In other words, what is it that you folks do, people in your industry do when they're checking the electrical?
In regard to the panel box, what we're required to do is take off the panel, take off the cover, assuming it's not going to be hazardous to it or us.
Okay, when you take off the cover, what does that mean?
I take off the cover and the breakers are visible. Pretty much what you're seeing there.
Okay, so
All
the
the
cover's
breakers.
off of this one.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, but when you were there was something here, right? There were two more breakers there covering this.
Well,
no.
This inspection was about 2 years ago. What I can tell you is that
Well,
wasn't
wouldn't you
there.
have noted it if there was something like this? You would have noted it, right?
By all means, I would have
And it's
noted-
not noted in the report.
Right. I would have
Okay.
noted it if
And you
that-
agree that your guy took out whatever was there?
Yes, there was a plastic cover over it.
A plastic cover with breakers or just
no,
a plastic
no,
cover?
just a plastic cover. You cannot put breakers in that slot
Because?
because it's burnt and they don't
So
fit.
then what right do you have to assume that you could have put breakers in that spot?
Because how does it burn?
I don't know. Well, how's it his fault that it's burned? You told me to look at the form that you had from your guy and that I would see that it was burnt at the time of the inspection. I don't see that from the form from your guy. Your guy is just saying install a new panel due to burnt bus bar and breakers. That's all your guy says. Your guy said, apparently everything else is working just fine. It's just that you need these breakers to put in a generator.
And we emailed Polo
Now, what evidence do you
Associates.
have it's his fault that he missed something? The fact that there was a little plastic over it and he had a responsibility to remove that plastic? What is your theory?
Well, that's my theory. Yes, is that when you do a home inspection and you pull off that cover, you notice right away that that plastic shouldn't be there. If that slot is empty, it should just be empty, and I can go ahead and put a breaker in there and then use it to power something else in the house. But because that cover was there, it should have been taken off to see what's behind it, because on a normal box, you don't have
Do you have a
that
picture
kind
of what was there before your guy messed with it?
Unfortunately, no. I didn't. When Steve came.
How do I know it didn't have breakers that just, aren't usable, that we discover aren't usable once we remove them? How do I know what it looked like? You don't have pictures from the home inspection, do you?
No, I don't. But
if you had seen just a plastic cover on two of the breakers, just a plastic cover, would you have inspected behind it?
no, but I would have put that in the report that there's a cover covering breakers.
Right.
Could be any kind of any sort.
Here's what we need, okay? If you want him to pay you $2,000 something, you have to prove that he has to pay you $2,000 something. You can't just say, hey, you got insurance? Yeah, that's not how it works. You have to be able to prove that he did something wrong. Like the standard in the industry is that you take apart the electrical panel, which you disclaim. You say that is absolutely not the
I can
standard.
show you that information.
Show me that information. That according to you, the standard in the industry is not that you take apart an electrical panel.
No, that's
let's put that to a side. Well, you're going to show me that, but let's put that to a side. What evidence do you have that a year later, it was there a year earlier. You said that your electrical guy says that it might be. First, you say in your complaint that your electrical guy said it was. Now you're saying in your testimony your electrical guy said it might be. And now I'm looking at what your electrical guy says, and he doesn't say any of those things.
Well,
So what evidence do you have?
I think there's just, I might have said like or whatever. But what I'm
Show
saying...
me some proof that someone says it was there a year ago.
I don't have
If you
that
don't
kind
have
of
proof, then you can't pin it on him. How are you going to pin it on him? Why is it his fault? If you can prove
Because I
through
don't-
no one, you said your electrical guy would say that. Why isn't he saying that?
Why isn't he saying that it was there prior?
Yeah.
So the problem surfaces a year later. Is this plaintiff out of luck?
Well, the problem is that the defendant or the plaintiff is just screwing up because they probably broke it at this point.
So you think they did and the inspector didn't? Anybody here think that this plaintiff has a case that he should be able to sue a year later?
No.
I think you guys are all right. Even the dog going inside the courtroom.
Nothing in this section shall be construed to require a home inspector to insert any tool, probe, or testing device inside electrical panels. And this is the New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety Home Inspection Advisory Committee. Okay. It's not looking good, folks. Okay, I'm sorry that you're in the situation that you find yourselves in, but it certainly does not appear to be his fault that you find yourself in that situation. When you come to court as a plaintiff, you have to prove by a preponderance of the evidence that there is liability on the other person's part. You have to prove to me that he did something wrong, and you can't prove to me he did anything wrong. His evidence proves he's not even supposed to probe, but you can't even prove that there's evidence that that was there a year earlier. You're looking for a deep pocket, and that's not how court works. Verdict for the defendant.
Both sides, just hold on right there, please.
All right, so the plaintiff's unable to prove the case. You understand why the judge had to rule the way she did?
Yes, I understand how she saw it, but I'm not an electrician, so how do I take loose a box? I don't understand. Was I supposed to go out there and inspect the box after an inspector? I'm not an electrical inspector, so I don't know what to look for. When I had an electrician come, the first thing he says is, Mike, there was a problem here. Mm-hmm. And he says to me, if it was during the storm, the whole house would have been on fire. So, well, I don't understand that. If a breaker catches on fire, it's something that had to be put out.
All right, well, I'm just unable to pin it on him with the proof, unfortunately for you. All right, so step on in here. The inspector comes out. Was this about money for you? Was this about your reputation? What?
Principal reputation. I hold nothing against them. It's just that I make a living from their referrals. The last thing I'm going to do is not report something that's present the day of the inspection.
Well, you could miss something.
Anything's possible, but I didn't miss that.
Harvey?
So here's the thing. When you hire an inspector or somebody like that, they're not guaranteeing that they're going to find everything. They are only required to use the professionalism that people in that community, other inspectors, would do when they inspect a job. If they're acting professionally and they do their job, that's all they're required to do.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Selling your car should feel like one less thing on your list, not one more. With Carvana, it is. Just go to Carvana.com, enter your license plate or VIN, and get a real offer down to the penny. No back and forth, no surprises, just an experience you can trust. Like your offer? Accept it. Schedule pickup, and we'll come to you with a check in hand. Your car, your timeline, your terms. Visit Carvana.com to sell your car today.
Carvana.
Delivery fees and terms may apply.